Hello and welcome to the best video you're gonna watch today because we have the 2020 Audi RS6 and you are watching Daily Drives. So the first time we saw the RS badge or the racing sport badge was on the RS2. Audi at the time already had a sport line with the S cars it was developing, but during this period in the 90s, Porsche was suffering financially and Audi wanted to help them out and give them a small project, helping out mein Freundlung, yeah? No, seriously, Porsche was in dire straits in the 90s and they were so desperate that they developed a four-door budget car for the Chinese and Indian markets. It's called the Porsche C88. I mean, look at it. It's the ugliest thing I've ever seen. So Porsche went ahead. They took the S2 and modified it to the fire-breathing RS2. And it made 311 horsepower from its inline 5-cylinder engine and propelled it, thanks to the Audi Quattro all-wheel drive system, to 100 kilometers an hour in 4.8 seconds, man. That's crazy. I mean, we're talking about a station wagon. That car was so fast, it was on par with the Chevrolet C5, Corvette, and the Porsche 966 911. So the RS2 was manufactured for 2 years only. Limited production run with just over 2,000 cars made, but it developed such a cult following that Audi would have been stupid if they didn't continue making RS cars.
Ja, Porsche richtig hier. Gucke, der fährt an uns vorbei. Gucke hier. Was ist denn das für ein Kombi?
So then they took the ingredients of the RS2 and then plonked it into the rest of their lineup, starting with the RS4, the RS6, and nowadays you can get pretty much any single Audi with an RS version, except for maybe the R8, because that's its own thing, and the A8. And they all come with Audi Quattro. But if you're gonna consider getting any RS, it has to be the King Daddy, the RS6. Hands down, the best RS car. No dispute at all. However, it is kind of expensive. At 57,000 dinars, you kind of expect you will get a lot. And if you're wondering, well, it just looks like the normal A6, it doesn't, because there are only 3 parts it shares with its younger brother, meaning the roof, the tailgate, and the front doors. That's it. Everything else is different. At the front, you have the most aggressive bumper in 2020. It has these massive inlets. They do look really cool. A beautiful honeycomb style front grille. You get these lights from the A7, so they look nothing like the standard A6, and these ones are the laser ones. So they're super bright, as well as super expensive, and a longer hood that protrudes a little bit more than the standard car. And put that all together, you have the face of the angriest German on the Autobahn. So continuing down the side, Audi has fitted optional 22-inch wheels to this car, and behind them you notice the carbon ceramic brakes, which are also an option, with 10 piston brake calipers, which will help stopping this 2,075 kilogram car in any circumstance. And continuing down the back, you see these sexy hips that are 4 centimeters wider than the standard A6 on each side. So yes, she might look good, but she's definitely gonna be harder to park. And at the back, you do have this roof spoiler indicating the Germans what it to look like. It was sehr schneller, and well as a brand new bumper with an aggressive look and the honeycomb thing that you have at the front saying consistent, and massive RS exhaust tips, like big cojones. That doesn't make sense, but we're gonna put it in anyways. And speaking about schnell, we now come to the engine. It's a 4-liter twin-turbo V8 developing 600 horsepower and 800 newton-meters of torque. And spec to the limit, this car will reach 304 kilometers an hour. It also has a trick mild hybrid system that will engage start-stop sooner, and you coast to a red light and engage faster as well. And on top of that, it also gets cylinder deactivation. So very smart, yeah? So the interior has to reflect the sportiness of the exterior. In my opinion, it does that very well. With these beautiful sport bucket seats, wrapped in the best leather Audi could find, with the design in the centerpiece. It's also perforated, so it's heated and cooled, as well as they are fully electric. Yeah. There's also a lot of red accents in this car. You can see the red stitching on the seats, in the center and on the sides. You also have red stitching on the seat belts, as well as the gear shifter, a red surround on the start-stop button, as well as red stitching on the RS steering wheel, which is wrapped in Alcantara and really nice to touch. And speaking about nice to touch, the car also comes with aluminum paddle shifters. I cannot wait to use those babies. Unlike the R8 that we tested, the 2018, that had plastic paddle shifters. This is much nicer. So combined with the sporty trim you get in this car and the plethora of aluminum, it really feels the part on the inside as much as it looks the part on the outside. Apologies for the background noise. I had to turn on the engine to show you the tech in this car. It is the latest MMI system that consists of 3 screens, and if you'd like to see a more in-depth video on that, you can check out the video here of the Q7 that we reviewed a month ago. So what separates the RS from the rest of the lineup is that you have RS specific gauges in the gauge cluster, as well as an RS theme in the heads-up display, and you also get an RS button that has 2 modes that you can customize to your own liking. So RS1 could be, he's my friend, I'm just gonna inch in front of him, and RS2 could be, I don't really like the guy, I'm going to gap him to the end of time. And with this car being an Avant, it has to be also practical. So here you can store your phone, and you have wireless charging alongside a couple of USBs, an SD slot, and a SIM card slot to connect it to the internet. On the sides, the door bins are not very big, but you can still manage to put something in there. And the glove box is felted, so you won't scratch anything that you store there. And finally, you have 2 cup holders in the middle, and this car also comes with the smoking package, so you have an ashtray. Let's go to the back. And at the back, you do have a lot of space. It's an Avant, so I mean, look, this is my seating position. This is how much space I have, and the seats are also contoured for my knees to go in, so if the driver needed more space, they could go even further back. And on top, I mean, come on, it's perfect. This is the perfect road trip car. You also have the same kind of seats in the back, so you're still sporty whether you're in the front or the back. And, you know, a little armrest for you to get comfortable with cup holders right there. And with the RS6 being an Avant, you do get ample room at the back to carry all of your things and luggage and all of the necessities you need for your next family vacation. 565 liters in this compartment. So you can literally do everything with this car. One car to do it all. Now, since Casper is not here today, it's my job to go and drive this car. And oh, I was so looking forward to taking it on the road. I mean, this is a dream car, top 5 cars for sure. So let's head out and see how it performs. Alright, so finally in the RS6, I've been waiting to drive this car for such a long time. It's just such an icon when it comes to automotive history, and also still today. And just driving it on our roads here in Bahrain feels absolutely normal. And that's what RS6 is. It feels like a normal car when you're driving slowly. And whenever throw it into a corner, add some throttle, and well, going around these twisty roads, and you can really feel the back end helping this car go into a corner. Of course, it has rear wheel steering, so at lower speeds the wheels at the back will go in the opposite direction that you are turning, and when you get up to a higher speed, they will go the same direction to give you more stability. And it really makes this car feel a lot smaller than it is, and that's a good thing. It doesn't feel scary to drive. I literally just got into this car and I felt like I've been driving it all my life, and that is something that's very hard to pull off, especially with a car that is so much more wider than the standard one. The seats are more supportive than what you would get in a standard car. However, the suspension is sublime. It's just driving over these potholes. Yes, there's a little shunt here and there, but honestly, it is not what I expected, because these RS and S models always had this issue that if you get the S-Line model or if you get the RS, your back will be broken. But not with this, not at all. And it's certainly bipolar, because if you put your foot down, direct, even in the automatic mode. You can then also firm up the suspension, and then it really does remind you of the RSs of old. And with these carbon ceramic brakes, no matter what the temperature or conditions, you know they will always stop exactly the same every single time. And that just gives you so much confidence when you're driving a car this quick and this capable. Now, I turned down the AC controls because they were blasting earlier. It is a very hot day today. And as you can hear, you can't really hear that much. Apart from, yes, the wider tires that you get with the RS6. There's no wind noise. There's a little bit of engine noise, but nothing substantial. Very subtle, very executive, and very premium and luxury car-like. So we had this car for one day only, and every second behind the steering wheel was absolutely fantastic. Just driving slowly on the small alleyways to get out from our warehouse onto the main highway, easy. Maneuvering, easy. On the highway, nice and quiet, and always an opportunity to gun it down and overtake someone. You have all of the ingredients that you would want in a car. It's practical, it's fast, it looks great, it sounds great, could take everything with you. What more do you want? And that's why I think this is the best car you can buy from Audi.
That's where you're wrong. That's where you are completely incorrect. Because if you really want to rummage around the RS and R range of Audi's skunk works, this is the one you want. The 2020 Audi R8 rear-wheel drive. Now, the keen-eyed viewer might already know that we have actually had an R8 on this channel, although that was the Quattro system. To be honest, Osama was driving it, who obviously, because of his age, prefers that extra bit of safety to make sure he doesn't veer off into a corner somehow. Now, when it comes to the 2020 R8, well, 540 sophisticated German horsepowers, 0 to 100 kilometers an hour is dealt with in just shy of 3.7 seconds. I mean, it varies from car to car in environment and temperature, but I believe them. Yep, I believe them. Now, the one thing this car also has, funnily enough, is much better attitude. See, the previous R8 that we drove felt safe. It felt like it took control over exactly what you wanted it to do. This, you drive this knowing and anticipating that when you poke it with a stick, it will react quite violently. And to show that Osama is wrong by actually even anyone's standard, I'm going to teach this guy a lesson. But for that, I'm going to have to take him somewhere special. This is the place I had in mind. to teach Osama a little bit of a lesson. When the reason we're here is, unfortunately, due to everything that's been happening pretty much all over the world, this place has been, as near as makes no difference, deserted. No races, no events, no roaring sound on these huge grandstands. So we thought, actually, you know what? Let's use this opportunity to bring these really special cars down here and just rumble the dust off the seats a little bit. Let's do that. That seems like a fun idea. You see, I did mention to Osama that we would have quite a special day planned with this particular drag race. However, Osama being Osama and relishing in this love of the Quattro and the RS6 has probably taken the long way. So I'm just gonna wait here and see what happens. Come on, I want to race. Why is this guy always late? He's always late. Now either his car has changed color or, my guy, this is not the RS6.
I brought the RS7. It has the same engine and same drivetrain as the RS6 I drove earlier, but it's 10 kilos lighter, and I think in a drag race I will have an advantage.
Can you just explain to me why you felt the need to cheat?
Everything I can take, I will take. Alright, so I'm packing 600 horsepower, 800 newton meters of torque, powered to all four wheels via a twin-turbo V8 with a Quattro system.
I'm relying on pure manpower, rear-wheel driveness, and a good gearbox. And 540 horsepower at my right foot.
It's also a V10. This is a good day, isn't it?
I've had worse.
Bro, you have no chance. You got no chance. All-wheel drive, no way. And I got more horsepower.
Let's let the cars do the talking, shall we? All right, you guys ready? 3, 2, 1,
go! Oh yeah! Eat my dust! All-wheel drive! This is what you get! Woo-hoo! And across the line! Oh, he really almost caught up right there at the end. Yeah!
I think I got a bad start on that. I would like a repeat.
Excuses, but it's hard to launch a rear-wheel drive car, so I understand, and we will do it again. I told you. You want a fast car, get the RS6 or the RS7.
You see, I was saved by the bell because ISO wasn't rolling. All right, get ready, guys. 3, 2, 1, go.
Bye-bye.
Okay, I will admit, off the line, your car is faster. I should have kept my mouth shut, but nevertheless, I will admit defeat. However, how about a roll race?
I agree. Let's do a rolling race.
Can we start at 60 kilometers an hour?
All right, 60 kilometers an hour in gear. I feel like I'm gonna lose this one because he keeps catching up at the end. So yeah, but off the line, it just leaves that R8 for dead. I would just like to say how cool it is driving down the pit lane where Formula 1 cars usually hang out. It's absolutely epic. Thank you, BIC. Okay, so let's move up to 60 kilometers an hour, and then we'll gun it from there. All right, let's go. Oh no! He's inching away! No! think we could safely say that the score is even between these cars.
Yes, so we have concluded that the RS6 is a very good car, although you refuse to race it. The RS7 is good for the launch, and the R8 is good for a getaway.
And probably track action.
Agreed. I think we'll conclude on that and give the people what they want. And this trio all together.
So as you can see, the day is ended. It is now dark, the lights are on, and I haven't seen them in a while. I'd like to thank the BIC for allowing us to film these beautiful cars here, as well as drive them on the track. And it's been nice to be back into motorsport as of late, as this place was closed because of, well, you know what. And thank you, Audi, for these cars. We really appreciate it, but most of all, thank you for watching this episode. If you did like it, make sure to smash that like button and also comment down below what you thought of this video, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell notification button so you don't miss any future videos. Thank you for watching. Have a great day and take care. One last time.